Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It's me, Richard. I'm back with another daily transfer talk roundup show. Make sure you smash that like button and hit the subscribe button. We are marching on to 5,000 subscribers. We've passed that 4,900 mark. We're about 85 away from the big 5K. So please subscribe and get your comments in below. Now, more of a outgoings one today. A little bit of news on the Marlon transfer as well. But Unai Emery has spoken out about wanting January signings, needing to freshen up the squad, needing to give us a boost going into 2025, which is a good thing. So you can see that there are things being done in the background. Obviously, PSR's potential issue. We have to balance the books up. So he's talked about players going out as opposed to coming in. And one of them is Jaden Philogene. Now, he's actually admitted that, signing him in the summer, thought he would kick on and thought he would improve at a faster rate than he has. Only really played against Bayern Munich in terms of a really good game. Featured then after that against Manchester United and did okay. But apart from that, has really, really struggled to settle at Aston Villa and really struggled to get to the level that is required. And Emery has admitted that himself and talked about a move away from Aston Villa, whether that be on a loan basis or whether that be on a permanent basis remains to be seen. Now, Ipswich have expressed a big interest, Fenerbahce as well, but Ipswich seem to be the most concrete offer. Obviously, gives him Premier League football as well. They had agreed a deal with Jaden Philogene in the summer, 4-year contract. So obviously, there's interest there. They're very keen. Kieran McKenna obviously sees something in him that he can work with, and maybe that could be a decent option for him. Give him a bit of confidence, give him some game time, and as I say, if it's a sale, then it brings money into the club again. I probably think it will be more likely a loan move, but interesting to see that Emery has actually admitted that we need something else down that right hand side, and Jaden Philogene, unfortunately, at the moment hasn't filled that void. Now, another player that probably hasn't improved or put pressure on as well in terms of the first team spot is Costa Nedeljkovic. And again, Emery has talked about him, saying that potentially a loan move could be the option for him this January. And has kind of said this was part of the plan, but I don't think that is necessarily the case. I think that they signed him with a view to him really putting pressure on Matty Cash. But I think the physicality of the Premier League, I think the pace of the Premier League has really caught up with him. And I just don't feel like Emery's had the confidence to bring him into enough games to utilise him to maybe push Matty Cash, or, he's felt like he's had to play Ezri Konsa in that right back position. And even though he's kind of said, well, he sees him as a right back and a right centre back, I still don't see that as the case at all. Now we have injury to Pau Torres. We have injury at the moment to Diego Carlos, who himself is potentially on the lookout for a move. Fenerbahce interested in him. So it brings into focus the need to improve this right-hand side of the defence. Now, obviously, we've seen a bid for 15 million euros for Wesley França, rejected so far from Flamengo. He's also wanted by numerous other clubs as well. So that might be a difficult one to get over the line. But Nedeljkovic, I do see going out on loan and maybe, assessing him in the summer and seeing what he's like. But again, another player that was signed in the summer that hasn't really hit the heights, hasn't maybe grasped the standard of the Premier League, the standard that Unai Emery sets. And look, it's understandable. These are young players. Nedeljkovic, 18, Jaden Philogene, 20, 21 years of age. It's understandable, but they were brought in to do a job, and they haven't quite hit the level that they needed to. So need to move on, go out on loan, bring some players in, and see how we get on. And yes, we'll see what happens with this Wesley França deal, or someone like a Denzel Dumfries that people are still talking about. He is, I think, destined for unfortunately for bigger things than Aston Villa. But he's a fantastic footballer. If we could try and do something with him, that would be brilliant. Obviously, people talk about Kyle Walker-Peters as well. That's an incredible downgrade from Denzel Dumfries. But that being said, potentially an effective player as well. So we'll have to wait and see on the right back spot. But it would be a bit of a coup if we could maybe get this Wesley. I don't know a huge amount about him. Whether he could adapt to the Premier League is another matter. But certainly someone who is highly rated across European football now, that we have scouts, everywhere. Now, another player coming back to Aston Villa is Louis Barry, and Emery talked about him in the press conference as well, saying that he does have a slight injury at the moment. He's going to assess him, though, over January and see what he's like. And I think he's probably played in the FA Cup already, Louis Barry, so it's probably unfortunate because a game like West Ham would have been an ideal opportunity to have a look at him if he gets over this slight injury. But it will be interesting to see whether he's put in any squads over the next 2 or 3 weeks, assessed obviously in training. And then, I'm pretty sure that a championship club would snap at the chance to take him anyway. So it'll be done very, very quickly in terms of a loan or even a potential permanent move, which we talked about the other day for the PSR kind of rulings that kind of eases that. So going to be interesting. Lots of debate on social media. Obviously, lots of debate within the fans as to whether he's good enough or whether a player performing highly or clearly better than League One level can step up to the Premier League. We know it's a jump, but like I say, sometimes ability is just ability, and if a player can improve at the level of the ability level that they're at, if they've learned how to use their body, if they've learned how to play against men and compete against men. Sometimes elements of League One football is more difficult than Premier League football. Yes, it isn't the pace. Yes, it isn't the technical quality. But in terms of rough and tumble, in terms of getting bashed around, in terms of time on the ball, you certainly do not get that in League One. So there's elements that you can take from learning in that level of football that you can maybe take into the Premier League. So it's going to be interesting to see how he copes and what happens. Again, I'm more leaning towards, I thought it'd be a sale because that's what he was talked about, but maybe it is more towards a loan and seeing how he gets on at a championship club, because that will then increase his value if he does even better there moving into the summer. Now, Dortmund have playing hardball. Obviously, that is something that they're going to do. I still think Marlon deal is on. I still think it can be done. But apparently, they've upped their price to 30 million euros, which is around the £25 million mark. I still think it'll be done at around the 20 to 22 million pound mark, so something like 26 million euros. Whether that's all up front, whether that's a certain fee and then some add-ons. The player, I believe, is keen on it. But in terms of Dortmund, the ball's in their court with this. They can do as they please. Villa obviously want to get the deal done quickly to stop other clubs coming in. Dortmund want to, will put the price up or will stall over the deal to try and see if they can attract other interest and force the price up. So this is how it works with transfers. I don't think anything will be done today or tomorrow, but certainly revisited early next week. And if we can get it over the line quickly, that would be really good. We've obviously started talks. We've obviously, gone in with an initial bid and then I think maybe a second bid as well. So we'll see how the deal's structured, whether it does include going up to that 30 million euro mark will remain to be seen. But I'm pretty sure that deal will be done. But yeah, always going to happen that Dortmund would drag their feet a little bit to bring other clubs in or to kind of increase his value for, because Villa want the player. So it's just to test how much we're likely to pay for him. Again, he's a player that I like. I think could be very good. He's obviously been a part of Arsenal's academy, so knows English football, knows the style, so could slot in pretty quickly. And as I said the other day, in terms of a boost to the squad, even if it's an initial 4 or 5 game boost where you want to impress your manager, you want to impress the fans, and then also getting more out of Leon Bailey. He needs pressure. He needs competition. Morgan Rogers needs pressure. Morgan Rogers needs competition. So even if it gives a boost to that 5, 6, 7 games, that can really turn around our season in terms of pushing us for that top 5, top 6 position. So let's hope we get the deal done over the line next week, and we'll see what happens with the right back situation and maybe 1 or 2 other positions, centre back as well. And, because we've Pau Torres now out for 2 months, Diego Carlos potentially looking at a move away or injury as well. He's injured for today's game against Leicester. So we'll wait and see where we can improve the squad. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. As I say, I'll be back later today, i.e. Saturday, for a match reaction, hopefully after 3 points for Aston Villa against Leicester. But yeah, you guys get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on Philogene to Ipswich or elsewhere? Louis Barry, can he come in and challenge for the first team? Nedeljkovic, what is a loan move going to do for him? And Marlon, in terms of Dortmund, do we walk away if they continue to haggle over the price? Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Like I say, we're so close to 5k. Help us on the road to 5k by liking, subscribing, and get involved in the comments. Thank you for watching. And as always, remember, we'll follow the Villa.